And welcome to The Watchman. Well, Benjamin Netanyahu is coming to Washington. The Israeli Prime Minister is scheduled to speak about the Iranian nuclear threat before a joint session of Congress in March, and the Obama administration is not very happy about it. Administration officials, always anonymous and unnamed, very brave, have threatened consequences against Netanyahu through the media, and President Obama will not meet with him during the trip. So what does all this mean for the U.S.-Israel relationship? We're fortunate to have experts from both countries with us today to make sense of it all. Yoram Ettinger is a former Israeli ambassador and an expert on U.S.-Israeli relations. You can check out his analysis at theettingerreport.com. We're also joined by Bill Koenig. Bill is a White House correspondent and leading Bible prophecy expert who is in Israel frequently. You can find his work at watch.org. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you.
Great to have you back on the show. Always good to see you. Well, look, you're coming during, I would say, a perilous time in many ways for the U.S.-Israel relationship at the governmental level. The Obama administration has been very, in my view, very harsh towards the Israeli Prime Minister. Yoram, I'll start with you. Why is it so important? We know the Obama administration is not happy about this speech, but why is it so important? Why does Prime Minister Netanyahu feel that he needs to come to the U.S. and address Congress about this Iranian threat?
Well, the Iranian threat poses a very critical, clear and present danger to the U.S. in particular, as well as to Israel and the world at large. Israel is a player in the arena where Iran operates. Israel has unique access to different intelligence sources, which the Americans do not. But most importantly, there is right now a debate in the U.S. and throughout the Western world on how to face up to the Iranian threat. A debate between the school of thought which says Iran is innocent until proven guilty, or the school of thought represented by Israel which says the track record is clear, they are guilty unless somehow miraculously proven innocent. And at that moment, there must be a decision made on the part of the U.S., which is the #1 obstacle to Iran. And the same impact that Netanyahu had years ago on the battle against international terrorism, he could have at this stage, setting the world on the right course rather than on the wrong left course facing the Iranian threat.
Yeah, and you know, this Iranian threat, as you mentioned, Yoram, is an existential threat not only for Israel, but for the region and for the United States, the great Satan, as the Iranians call us. We're going to talk about that more in the show. Bill, I have to ask you, what's the Obama administration thinking? You're a White House correspondent. You're on the ground. Your ear is to the ground here inside the Beltway. What's the Obama administration's thinking with Iran? You know, Iran's already broken basically 2 deadlines in these nuclear talks. Now we have a new deadline for June 30th, 2015. Does the Obama administration really think they can cut a deal with Iran?
Yes.
They do.
For the last 6 years, they think that they have what it takes. Barack Obama thinks he has what it takes. John Kerry also thinks he has what it takes. It's ridiculous. I mean, listen to what the Iranian leader says about the great Satan, the United States, and the little Satan, which is Israel. I mean, it's as if this guy, Khomeini or Rouhani or Ahmadinejad previously, as if these guys have never said these scathing things. I think it's so ridiculous, and it's egotistical, it's unrealistic, and at the same time, they are not extrapolating the danger of having a nuclear Iran. I can tell you right now, our allies, our so-called allies that border the Persian Gulf, are extremely concerned about a nuclear Iran that has developed short-range missile capability that's put every single one of those countries at risk in the near future.
The Saudis, the Jordanians, the Emirates, the Egyptians. Speaking about missiles, and we talk about the Iranian threat to the United States. Israeli media reports last week, Yoram, there were reports that Iran is developing intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs. Now, why would they want to develop ICBMs that could reach the United States conceivably? Why would Iran want to do that?
They are developing it jointly with North Korea, which sheds light on their attitude towards America. They are developing it while celebrating every year on November 4th, Death to America Day, which is the day that the terrorists in Tehran took over the American embassy, but that's supposedly a partner for peace, for negotiation. They are developing it while intensifying their strategic ties with the anti-American regime in Caracas in Venezuela, as well as Bolivia and Ecuador.
At our doorstep.
Pardon me? At your doorstep, intensifying their surge into Argentina, Latin America, which could have an impact also on Mexico, which means not far from your major metropolitan areas. And at the same time, they are spreading subversion and terrorism in every single pro-American Arab country in the Gulf and beyond. A few days ago, they caused a surge of the Shiite minority in Yemen to the helm in Yemen. Now, that was not a local issue. Yemen is a historical invasion route to Saudi Arabia. Yemen controls the very critical access of oil tankers from the Indian Ocean to the Red Sea and the Mediterranean. Yemen borders Oman, which is an arena for subversion by the Iranians. Oman controls the only access which brings oil from the Persian Gulf to the world at large. The Iranians are pursuing a very clear anti-American tactic, and the reason is they consider the U.S. as the major obstacle on the road of attaining their major goal, namely the domination of the Gulf. No country in the world but the U.S. can stop Iran from taking over the Gulf, and then the Muslim world, and then the rest of the area. Hence, targeting of the U.S. as well as Israel, which means U.S. and Israel are now facing a mutual threat, which further explains why the leader of Israel should come here to share with the American representatives of the American people the concern about that threat to their own safety.
Yeah, that's a great point. And Bill, what do you think the fallout will be? As I said in the intro, the Obama administration is not happy about this. I believe the Obama administration has been so harshly anti-Israel over the past few years, really stunning. I never